Somebody's watching, and my mom, when she goes to the computer store, she puts on every tablet and display computer our YouTube channel. And I think that that is actually the best marketing that I have. I think you're gonna drive me insane. Mama don't got your number, but I got your name all alone. What a losing game. And one of these days, Mama, you're gonna wish that you had not left me with those other fish. Oh no. I said one of these days, Mama, you're gonna wish that you had not left me with those other fish. Oh no. Well, folks call me Anthony Simpkins. My mom calls me Tony. I'll answer just about anything as long as it's got some bit of positivity to it. As far as titles go, I'll accept folklorist, song hunter, collector, or if I went to school, they might have called me an ethnologist. Well, we're here in Nashville, Tennessee, the end of summer. Hot as hell, but the music's better, is what we say. We're in my buddy Eric's house, and it's one of my favorite places to come and record because it's got a lot of character. Gems on VHS is a series of field recordings telling the stories and showcasing the songs of the 21st century. I started in 2011 in the Wild West days of YouTube. We just started uploading songs that friends of mine and strangers of non-acquaintance that I soon became friends with were playing. And I just thought somebody should really record them. And 8 years later, we have like 70,000 subscribers on there. So somebody's watching. And my mom, when she goes to the computer store, she puts on every tablet and display computer our YouTube channel. And I think that that is actually the best marketing that I have. A lot of what we do has a long history, you know. We're not doing this in an echo chamber. I've really got to give credit to Alan Lomax and John Lomax, who were American folklorists in the 20th century. If you've ever sung Home on the Range or any song like that, you have Alan to thank. Really, in a roundabout way, he is responsible for a lot of American music because he went over to England to escape the Red Scare, and he introduced the English to all of these artists from America. And that inspired skiffle, which inspired the Beatles. And then we have the British invasion, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, all these guys that got all this influence from Black American artists that Alan Lomax was showing them, came back to America and inspired, you know, that whole revolution. So it really comes full circle. And it goes all the way back to Alan's father, John Lomax, recording cowboy songs that people didn't find any value in at the time. They were the first ones to go out there and record that kind of stuff and go out to the prisons and record incarcerated people out on the chain gangs, recording the African Americans singing their songs. We're lucky that we have any of it recorded from all these times before. You know, people have always found comfort in singing, so that's what I find really important about music and about what we do. I feel really happy to just be doing some small part.
Can you tell me?
You know, at the beginning, I think it was really about filming people that I thought needed to be heard and having fun doing it. And I really don't think it's evolved much, even though there's a lot more eyes on it and we do a lot more things. You know, now it's turned into a whole apparatus, but it's still at its core just about getting the message out there, getting songwriters out there. The way we find the people we work with is really just word of mouth. I hear about them. You listen to Every Which Way the Wind Blows, you kind of hear the names drift in, and we just kind of work with different people out in their own places. You know, I go travel around the country and hopefully soon more of the world, and just kind of ask who the best is and who's writing the realist. And you know them when you see them and hear them, more importantly.
Just like you.
The location is just as much a character as the person is. If I was to go film one of these musicians and I hired a model to stand in for him, that would be a lot like going and, paying for locations and finding spots. I try to make sure that the location matches the artist, like at their house or someplace that means something to them. Clutter means that, somebody lives here, there's a culture to it. There's a lot of people living interesting lives, but when you're on the inside of it, you don't really see it. Everybody's so caught up in their own mess, they don't really see what's interesting about them or what's nice about their songs. That's what we do when we go out there. That's what we try and capture, really just a snapshot of them. And I think in 20 years, it'll be a lot more useful and attractive to them than it is now a lot of times. Now a lot of times people can't stand to see themselves on camera in the moment.
I'm no man.
Some of the most memorable experiences filming have been the ones where I've went somewhere really out of the ordinary. Anytime it's hard to do is a good time. Nothing good is easy, and some of the hardest ones have been hopping trains with Benjamin from Lost Dog Street Band. He loved to hop trains, and I said that would be a great way to get around and film some songs, and that was definitely a challenge. And another one was when I went to England with Josh O'Keefe. He's a folk singer, and he is from England, originally lives in Nashville now, and he invited me on a trip to his hometown. It was a real experience, real culture shock for me. Much to the chagrin of publicists everywhere, I often just first meet up with an artist. I kind of leave the location TBD, to be decided, and we just kind of wing it. We start with a song, and that's kind of an interview in and of itself. We start with a song, and I really want to get a feel for what they have to say, and then afterwards talk a little bit about it, how they got to write it, and what they are going to do with it in the future, Kind of cut up. I try and just make it real natural, I try not to force any kind of interaction on the artist or anything, just try and make it comfortable for them to really do what they do best.
Me and my true love, we said I do, but nothing lasts forever.
We filmed some recordings right here in this very room with Sierra Farrell, who's a great musician, doing really well right now, and she filmed right here in this corner a song that I remember well. I didn't know what to expect. I had heard of her before, and we just kind of broke out the cameras, and she filmed a little song right here, and now she's really out there recording. It's funny how something small like that can really get out there with the internet. The reason we do it is to really shine a light on great songs, because I think great songs can really tell you something about yourself. A really good song has the power to affect a lot of people, and that's why I like to put them out there, because music helped me so much. It's good to help the musicians too, and help them make a living and do their thing. We get them out there and get them the platform and the audience. I just love good songs too, so it's kind of selfish.
One day that rain, it started and it never stopped. No, it never stopped, but now I knew with just one glance that damn, it couldn't hold one more drop. I thought we would die together with your hand in mine, your hand in mine, but you